So hello everyone. So in the previous lesson I have told you about what is MySQL, what is database. So today I will be telling you what are the data types. So first of all, as I have told you earlier, that MySQL is a freely available open source relational database management that uses structured query language. It is a relational database management. The use of database management software is to manage the database, and MySQL uses structured query language. Structured query language is a language that enables us to create and operate on any relational databases. So if you want to work on any relational database, you have to use a query language, and that query language is known as SQL. Now about data types. Now we can enter our values in different ways. They can enter our values, the values that we are entering. It can be a string value, character, or it can be a numerical value. It can be number, it can be values in decimal, it can be date and time. So there are different types of data types for storing different types of values. So basically we can categorize these data types into three broad categories. One is your numeric data type, second one is string data type, and the third one is date and time data type. Numeric data type, it is used to store numerical values, values in numbers. If you want to store the values in numbers, for example your marks, your percentage, for that you can use, or your salary, you can use numeric data type. String data type, if you want to use alphanumeric characters, if you want to store your name, mobile number, address, all those values in which you don't want to do any calculation, for that you can use string data type. If you want to do any arithmetic calculation, you have to use numeric data type. For entering name, address, or any lengthy characters, string, you can use string data type. And the last, it is date and time data type. If you want to enter time or date or year, for that we will be using date and time data types. Now first is your numeric data type. In numeric data type we can either take integer if it is a whole number, if it is rational number, that is number in points, or decimal number, decimal value, we can use either float, double, or decimal. If you are using float and double, you need not give how many values you want in decimal. Automatically it will take 10,2 for float, and for double it will take 16,4. That means total, if you are using float, maximum 10 characters, 10 numbers you can enter, and there would be 2 decimal values in that 10 numbers. If you are using double, if you are not mentioning maximum value, M stands for maximum value and D means decimal place, it will take 16,4. Whereas if you are using decimal data type, you have to specify M and D. M and D specifies that what is the maximum number that you have to enter and how many decimal places are there. Like for example, roll number is name of a field. In this you can enter integer values. Size is 4 digits you can enter. Second field name is basic salary. Data type is double. I am not specifying any size. By default it will take 16,4. Total salary is again a field in which I am taking float data type. Here I have given 12,3. That means 12 values, 12 numbers you can enter, but there will be 3 decimal places in there. Percentage I have taken decimal 5,2. Maximum 5 numbers you can enter, and there will be 2 decimal places. This will be clear with this example. Like for example, salary is name of a field and I have written decimal. I have given decimal 5,2. Okay, 5,2 I have given. The field name is salary. Data type is decimal, and the size that I have specified, size is 5,2. That means maximum you can enter 5 values. I have entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 values I have entered. So it will become like this. 3 values before decimal and 2 values after decimal. 2 values after decimal because I have specified 2 over here. Like take one more example. I suppose I have written over here salary double, and I have written 12 comma 2 or 12 comma 3. Suppose here it's 10 comma 3, right? So maximum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 values you can enter, and there will be 3 decimal places. This means this is the meaning of 10 comma 3. Here this 10 is M and this is D. 10 is maximum value and 3 is your decimal value. Decimal values. I hope this is clear. If you will not enter anything over here in double, by default it will take 16,4, but in decimal you have to specify M and D. It is required, compulsory for in case of decimal. Now this is your numeric data type. Integer either you can take, or you can take float, double or decimal. Generally we will take integer and decimal. If you are entering values in points, we will use decimal. Whole number we will use integer. Instead of writing integer, you can also write int. For decimal you have to write full decimal, DECIMAL. Next is your date and time data type. If you are entering date, you have to enter date in year, month and day format. You have to use date data type. If you want to enter date and time, you will use date and time data type. If you are entering time in hour, minute and second format, you will take hour, time, year, data type. It is used to accept or enter, store year in 4-digit or 2-digit format. If you will just write year and you will not specify any digit over here in the place of M, it will take 4. If you write year 2, it will take the last 2 digits only. Like suppose it's 1998, it will take 98. It's 2022, 2022, it will take only 22. But if you are writing only year without any number over here, it will take 4 digits. If it is 2022, the year is 2022, it will take 2022 only. So this is your date and time data type. After date and time data type, there's some problem with the mod. Okay, now it's clear. Next comes our string data type. In string data type, we are having char and varchar. Here M specifies the size. M means the length, how many characters that you want to enter. Now difference between char and varchar, in first the similarity between char and varchar. In char and varchar you can enter alphanumeric characters, that means characters as well as numbers, but you cannot do any calculation on them. In char you have to specify if you not specify the size over here, it will take 1. Whereas in varchar you have to specify the size, like over here varchar 25 bytes of memory will be allocated. You can enter 25 characters. Here if I write char 25 bytes of memory will be stored. The length will be 25 characters you can enter. If you will not specify any length over here in place of M, suppose I have written only char, no number over here, it will take 1. I can enter only 1 characters then in that case. The char is your fixed length string. Fixed length string means the length will remain fixed. If you have given it size 10 and you are entering only 2 characters, all 10 bytes of memory will be utilized. Varchar is your fixed length. Fixed length means that varchar is your variable length. Variable length means the size is not fixed. Suppose varchar size you have entered 10 and you are entering the value, only 4 values you are entering, Ravi. So only 4 bytes of memory will be utilized out of 10 and 6 bytes of memory will be free. So varchar we generally use varchar because it reduces your space. which is being consumed. The difference between char and varchar, as I have told you, char is a fixed length data type. If you declare a column of char 10 data type, then it will always take 10 bytes of memory, irrespective of whether you are storing one character or 10 characters in this column. Varchar is a variable length data type. If you declare a column of varchar 10 data type, it will take the number of bytes equal to the number of characters stored in this column. So in this column, if you are storing only one character, then it will take only 1 byte, and if you are storing 10 characters, then it will take 10 bytes of memory. Now, categories of SQL. Now in SQL commands, in SQL there are numbers of commands, hundreds of commands are there. Broadly we can categorize these different commands that we will be using while we will work on MySQL. We can categorize these different SQL commands into 4 broad categories. So we can say 3 broad categories. First is your DDL, data manipulation language, DDL, data definition language, DML, data manipulation language, and TCL, transaction control language. The first, DDL, data definition language. What is DDL? Now, DDL stands for data definition language. These SQL commands are used for creating, modifying and dropping, that means deleting the structure of database object. If you want to create a database object, that is a table or a database or a column, that is a field, or you want to give a primary key to a particular field, you want to remove a primary key, you want to change the name of a column, that means these are your database object. You are doing modification or creating or removing the database object. All these commands come inside DDL, data definition language. Some of the examples are create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. These we will be using while we will work in SQL. Next is your data manipulation language. Now DML, these SQL commands are used for storing, retrieving, modifying and deleting the data which is present inside the database object, that is inside the table. So as the name specifies, data manipulation language, it is used to manipulate or change or to access the data which is present inside the table. The commands that comes inside DML are select, insert, update and delete. Select, it is used to retrieve the values from the table. Insert, it is used to insert a new value or a row in a table. Update, it is used to update an already existing value, not the database object, not the field name, the value which is present in the table. And delete, it is used to delete a row. If you want to delete a column, for that we will be using alter and drop. If you want to delete a row, that is the data which is present in the table, we will be using delete command. So these two are very important, data definition language and data manipulation language. DDL, it is used to work on database object, and DML, data manipulation language, it is used to work in the data which is present in the table. Transaction control language. TCL, these SQL commands are used to manage and control the transaction. And what is a transaction? A transaction is one complete unit of work which involves many steps. In a transaction there are a number of steps. Some of the commands are commit, rollback and save point. Commit is used to permanently save all the work that you have done. Rollback, it is used to take you to the initial position from where you have started. And save point, it is used to make bookmark or the parts it is used for partial rollback. These will be doing in the coming weeks. So TCL, transaction control language. Transaction is one complete unit of work which involves many steps. Like whenever you are doing some transaction from the bank, you want to take out amount from your bank account and you want to deposit it someone else's account. So in between there are numbers of steps. When all these steps are completed successfully, it is called commit. And suppose there is a problem occurs in the middle of the transaction, it will take you to the initial position, that is known as rollback. Then comes your data control language. That DCL is also a part of DDL. These SQL commands are used to provide security to the database object. The commands are grant and revoke. Grant, it is used to give permission, and revoke, it is used to remove that particular permission. Suppose I have given permission to a particular user that particular user can do modification in the marks or the data of a particular table. For that I have to give the grant. I have to grant him the permission. If I want to remove the permission, I have to give the command revoke. Now, this was the basic about your database and MySQL. Now comes your actual practical part. How to create a database in MySQL using the SQL command. How to create a database, how to use a database, how to create a table in the database, how to insert record in a database. All these things we will be doing in the next lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it, and in my next lecture we will be working on how to create table in a database so that you can insert your values in that table. Thank you.